I'm Asif. I lead the Operation Excellence wing for the corporate and institutional business of Northern Trust. I hope all of you are equally excited as I am today to be attending this Master Transformation Confirmation conference and learn some of the industry best practices and take it back with us. A bit of a background as to what we are trying to do today. I'm trying to present here a story. I'd like to believe it's a success story of how Kaizen, when driven as culture within an organization, gives you a long-lasting, sustainable benefits. We all know Kaizen, this esteemed audience, I don't think I need to tell what Kaizen is. We all have been using that in this industry. Well, we more often than not use Kaizen as a tool, as a methodology, and we drive projects. That's great, no doubt about it. But Kaizen, the whole concept of Kaizen, when driven as a culture within an organization to build a culture of continuous improvement, the rewards, which you reap are really long lasting, and that's what we are trying to present here. Not really a project per se, but how do you drive that mindset? And I'm going to share two great examples of the benefits we've been able to reap, which I believe have not just helped us as an organization to mitigate some critical risks, especially being in a financial services industry, but I hope and believe that this is something which the industry is grappling, and you all can take it back today to your respective organizations and try and see how this, how you can implement and take Kaizen to the next level as a culture and imbibe it within the DNA of the organization. Right. Without dwelling much into it, I'll get into the presentation. But before that, I'd like to introduce my team. Sorry, I think it's right. I have with me today Ferdy, who's the techie who leads the automation wing. Muzna, who leads the operational control. Pragi, who leads the business solutions team. Rekha, who heads the operations for the hedge fund services, and my colleague Sachin. We've really had a cross-functional team. We will see examples from two of these teams where from Rekha and Muzna's team, where we have been able to reap the benefits of driving Kaizen as a culture and how that's helped us. A very unusual figure to be bringing to a Kaizen event, Mark Twain, the father of American literature. The reason I'm quoting him here today is because even before Kaizen was popularized after the Second World War, a half a century before that, he had given a quote which I think resonates even today, that continuous improvement is better than delayed perfection. And I think more often than not, we let perfection come in the way of delivering improvement. We want to fix everything at once. We want to boil the entire ocean. But what this quote, and it relates very well to the philosophy of Kaizen, is improvement when done continuously on a daily basis, incremental, is much better than trying to wait and solve all the problem at once and thinking that you can have a magic wand, right? So I thought that was a very apt starting to this whole presentation. So before I actually delve into what we have done at Northern, a little bit of background about the organization. Northern Trust was founded about a century, more than a century back, about 130 years from now, in Chicago, to address the needs of the high net worth individuals. Our enduring principles of service, expertise, and integrity have helped us weather all the economic downturns this world has seen for the last century and more, be it the Great Depression, the Great Recession of 2008, the current pandemic. And not for a single year through this entire journey has Northern been acquired. It's been a single entity. It's grown organically, and not for this a single year through this entire journey has Northern stopped paying dividends to its shareholders. And how is that this organization has been able to do that and continue to be the most reputed financial partner to its customers and help them achieve greater, which is our motto? It is because we focus on serving our clients as the most trusted financial partner, guarding their assets. It's a financial service institute, it's a bank, it's a custodian, it's a global custodian. So risk, mitigating risk and securing their financial interests is what is at the heart of all of these things. And there are a lot of accolades which the organization has been winning over the years. I've just put some out here. And we've been able to do that because there is something which is very inherent in Northern Trust, and that's embedded risk management. What is embedded risk management? We all hear about risk management. When we hear about risk management, we think of professionals, risk management professionals, certified professional, crunching numbers, doing analysis. Yes, that's a very important part of risk management. But despite all of that, how often have we not seen organizations find themselves in the public domain having to bow their heads down? And why is that the Northern Trust has not found itself in that position? Is because when you practice embedded risk management, when you embed risk management into everyday lives, every single process, right, and promote a culture of risk awareness across the organization and embed those standards at a process level, empower every single individual to be able to identify, assess, and mitigate those risks, is when you come out truly, sets you apart as a financial organization. And why am I speaking about this? Because I think this whole concept of empowering every individual is about what Kaizen talks, and very, very complementary to the philosophy of Kaizen, right? When Kaizen, a culture of Kaizen is used to drive home, risk management, risk management within an organization, what does that mean? It translates to bottoms-up ideation. It translates to enabling and empowering everybody to be able to manage threats right at the forefront before they, become huge issues for you. And how did we do that at Northern? We, as Process Excellence team, it's not just important that we drive projects and deliver those results on every project and do those interventions. It's also important that we are able to build a culture of continuous improvement in the organization, and we do that through constant, learning, awareness, training, workshops, lean training. So every single partner on the floor, down to the analyst, all the way up to the management, are trained and equipped and enabled and empowered with tools, and have developed this mindset of continuous improvement. And that's what has been very rewarding. And how has that been rewarding? I will jump right into those two examples. This whole risk management program, which was developed and deployed, as a Kaizen cultural mindset, which is being built across the organization, has delivered a lot of benefits, a lot of ideas which have been crowdsourced, and passed on and have been implemented. But what I'm doing here today is speaking of two key examples, which, as I said, is really important, not just for us as an organization, for the industry as well. The first one I'm going to talk about is how do we mitigate your reputational risk, right? As financial institutions, the most important thing for you to be trusted as a financial partner for your clients is when you are able to protect earn their trust by protecting confidentiality. So there is this team which is Rekha manages operations. There's a small team there which takes care of trade confirmations for our clients, right? This was the process before. This was a manual activity. As part of this, they had to look out for unmatched and mismatched trades and send it to the counterparties to make sure that it's matched before the trades are settled. And this was done manually. So you have hundreds and thousands of trades, right? You have to skim through them, pick out all these unmatched and mismatched trades, eyeball them, then segregate it as per clients, counterparties, manually password protect that, and then pick the right email ID, attach it, and send it out. While this is being done, now the partners who are doing this on the ground, they have all been going through this Kaizen training, lean training, continuous improvement. They started seeing opportunities. They started seeing, this is a manual process. We can automate this. Can this be fixed? The volumes are very high. The turnaround times are much higher. We might have an opportunity. If we continue to do this manually, we might end up sending the wrong data to the wrong counterparty. And we do this throughout the day. It's not once, from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. We keep doing it multiple times. It's repetitive. If we do not fix it, sooner than later, we will end up in a situation where we open up ourselves to a risk situation. So when this opportunity was identified and brought back to the process excellence team, we were able to look into the process, streamline, and then eventually Ferdy's team was able to come in and automate this and develop an in-house privacy tool, which now ingests the data from the core systems directly. It cleanses, normalizes that data, it password and segregates it as per the requirement, and then password protects it, and attaches it and picks the right email ID from the unique codes assigned to each counterparty and then shoots it out. No manual intervention, all risk mitigated, and everything is fixed. And this is the power of Kaizen. This is the power of enabling your every single partner on the floor to be able to identify and mitigate risks. So what this has done is, of course, risk mitigation. It's also brought in a lot of other benefits. Now that this is automated, it's doing throughout the day. There's an automated tool which is doing improved turnaround times and service delivery times. Because this is an automated solution, we've been able to build on top of.
If you have 5 minutes more, sorry.
Yes, thank you. On top of it, we're able to build a real-time dashboard, which now the management can use to monitor how many of my trades are mismatched in real time or are pending, and they're able to prioritize anything which is high value and high risk, and able to reach out proactively to the counterparties, probably over a phone. A second example is what I spoke about. The first one is more about your reputational risk, and second example, I'm going to talk about the operations control team, which is led by Muzna. This is more internal. Now, we all know about quality checks, audits, and all of those things. So this operational control team makes sure that every team within the organization is adhering to the controls, and they do that through what is called a sample testing. Again, the sample testing was manual. They have to go in manually, pick samples as per the compliance requirement. Everything was being done. But while you're doing sample testing, right, when you have hundreds and thousands of funds which are calculating NAVs, and this is for the fund accounting process, you are unable to complete, the entire gamut of it, and everything is manual. These calculations are critical, right? And that always brings in an element of lag, right? And it's very time consuming. Again, these partners, now we can continuously partner with the control team. We train them not just on Kaizen, because this is a control team. We train them on root cause analysis, FME, and so on and so forth. They are empowered down. They are able to do their jobs much better, and then came out and say, yes, what we are doing here, it's a logic-driven process. Can we automate this? If you are able to automate this, we'll be able to do it much better. Now, again, the automation team came in. What they were able to do is, yes, this is a logic-driven process. It's just picking up samples, making sure that all the controls are adhered to. Let's build a bot, right? Why do we need a human to do that? We build a robotic solution on top of this. There's a database bought in just these configurations, right? It sifts through every single line item. It goes through every single calculation. It goes through every single expense calculation which is there. And if there are any anomalies, it's a set rule, right? It's simple, it's logic. If there are set rules. If there is an anomaly which is picked up, it flags it and reports it to the control team. Now, control team come in and look at only the exceptions. They don't have to go through the entire process. At the back end, the bot is doing this, and it's doing it much faster, much closer. There is no lag. And once these exceptions are highlighted to the control team, now control team is able to get this resolved in much faster time. So what has this done? It's taken us from being very compliance-driven testing to a proactive testing, very robust risk management. And the solution has been scalable. You cannot keep adding more and more partners to do quality check, right? Now it's an automated process. Instead of sample testing, which is the requirement from compliance, you can do 100% population testing now. Every single NAV that gets calculated goes through this control check, and it's fixed. If there are anything which is highlighted, and it's fixed. What has this done additionally is it's freed up our control partners' time. So they can do more critical reviews, more value add to the business, and spend more time where it is really needed, right? So what I'm trying to drive home a point with these two examples is we have to stop looking at Kaizen as just another tool, just another method or to drive projects. The true benefit of Kaizen is when you realize when you drive that as a culture within an organization. And I would like to leave all of you with this thought from Masaki Imai, who's the founder of the Kaizen Institute, who really popularized the concept and culture of Kaizen in the West. And he said, Kaizen is improvement by everybody, every day, everywhere. And only when we do this will we be able to realize the benefits of Kaizen truly. And with that, I'm going to stop. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Asif. I think you could close it even there was 1 more minute. So good, I think. Thank you for presenting your case, and thank you for sharing those 2 examples. Maybe I would first give it to Ashish and then Rohit if you have any question.
Yeah, just one question, Asif. Have you measured the outcome of these two examples?
Yes, Rohit. So once this any idea is crowdsourced and is brought to the excellence team, of course, it follows the rigor and methodology which is needed. It's driven either as a lean or an automation or all of those things. So this is definitely measured. For example, if I were to talk about the privacy tool, and the reason I've not put it out there is as you can appreciate, some of these are confidential stuff. It's redacted, but I can definitely share that the it is brought in at least 30% of efficiency gain, which is not the requirement because you're freed up. Now, what was being done manually is automated completely. So that's freed up the efficiency, but the whole concept was to reduce the risk. And when you look at probably from an FMEA perspective, do an RPM comparison pre and post from a manual process to an automated process, the RPM scores have dropped drastically for this particular process, be it the privacy tool or be it the control bot which we have done.
Okay.
I hope I answered your question. I'm happy to explain further.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Rohit?
Yeah. So so there are two questions, two kind of points which I wanted to get more understanding, Asif. So you talked about exception process, right? So your team is now able to kind of look into more value-adding reviews, correct?
Yes.
And the exceptions processing, just pre-exception processing is done through automated system.
Yes.
But any focus which was given that, okay, why at all the exception should come at all, right? Why can't we fix it right in the source? Any thoughts around that was given, or is it in progress, or what is that?
Brilliant question, Rohit. Thank you very much for bringing it up. I probably couldn't cover through the presentation. So yes, so it's not. See, this is the process itself, which does the NAV valuations, is also manual to some extent because of the bespoke nature. There are different funds. So I'll give you an example. When I say fund accounting, it's more like mutual funds. So since we are the custodians and trustees, there are hundreds of different funds for which there is a different process. So there's some amount of manual intervention is there, and as a result, sometimes when you're doing certain calculations, some creep in. Now, what happens previously? There was a quality check, of course, which validates a control. The next step of it. When controls used to look at it and find out an exception, then they'll go back and fix it definitely. There's a root cause analysis which is done, but nonetheless, because the process is manual, there's always an opportunity. There will be something which there will be some deviations which will come in. Because we've been able to automate this before, what you've done is the only opportunity for you to identify those exceptions is if it creeps up in your samples. Now we're testing every single thing, so we're able to capture more, and then every exception that comes out. Now the control team, again, as I said, it's all about that continuous improvement. The controls team, as we speak, are going through root cause analysis training and FMEA training. They're able to do much better root cause analysis, go back, fix the problem right at the root, and say, you know what, this section does not come up next time. The next time what comes up, it's probably something else, and we keep fixing it and we keep improving every day. And that's how we are driving the culture of continuous improvement.
Yeah, thank you. So do you see a trend coming down? The exception volume are reducing or something like that?
Of course, it's taken a drastic. So initially, of course, the exceptions went up. Let me be very honest, because when we move from sample testing to population testing, exceptions tend to go up. That did happen. Now it's been more than a year. Close to a year, this has been implemented, and that exception trends have come down drastically.
Okay.
Who's not on the call? If she has anything to share to answer the question.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Asif. So I think the key point here is to highlight that Northern Trust is known for its client services, and the process like a NAV, which is too complex, has a lot of intervention in terms of data gathering, right? So processes that are in-house are definitely standard, but we do have client inputs coming in various bespoke ways. And to get that into our system in a seamless way, something like this really helps improve the entire process chain of it. And the idea here was to make it more real time rather than being a reactive process of fixing things. So now we can actually preempt what can be a deviation to the set process that we have in-house, and really correct it before it goes to the next process of evaluation. So this process has really made it more real time, or more before the event can fall out. We are able to actually cover 100% of the reviews on expenses across all the fund population that we have. So it has really, really scaled up. And then we only focus on something that's prone to errors or something that is very bespoke, which we need to be cognizant of before delivering the final NAV. So that's how it has really added a lot of value and a lot of qualitative reviews then, so to say.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Asif and Muzna. So I have one question before we go to the next presentation. Is what is the risk that you actually wanted to mitigate? What is the bigger risk, means enterprise level risk that you wanted to mitigate?
Yes, so the two examples showcase two different risks which has been mitigated. The first, the privacy tool, is more of a reputational risk. You send the wrong data to the wrong person. Now imagine you get an SMS tomorrow, it has somebody else's account balance. You will no longer, even though it was not breached on you, as long as you know as soon as you know your bank does not have controls in place, wrong person's details have come to you, you will no longer want to bank with that, right? So that's the whole idea. So the privacy tool has been able to fix that security breach and stop that reputational risk even before it could come. We've been able to nip it in the bud. The second of the control board is more of operational risk. Now this is validating its compliance requirement. You need to keep testing that your controls are in place. It's a highly regulated industry, right? And by bringing an control board and automating that, we've been able to eliminate, or I wouldn't say eliminate, risks cannot be eliminated, mitigate that operational risk. And I'd like to end with a quote which says, you know what, in especially industries like financial services, the cost of non-compliance is much, much, much higher than the opportunity cost of process improvement, right? Incremental process improvement. So I think that's the whole idea behind driving, using the culture of Kaizen and philosophy of Kaizen to drive the embedded risk management within Norton.
Thank you, Asif and Muzna and the entire team for the great work done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the opportunity. Before I wrap up, I would really urge all of us here to go back, and this one takeaway from this is start looking at more as a lifestyle, as a culture, than just as a tool. And if even one of you have been convinced with that, I would have done my job here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.